Hi guys, it's me, Gordon from GDUBTV. Once again, we're in the back of the van. Today's little job is going to be removing these. The retainer for the bulkhead goes all the way along the side, all the way along the bottom, and then also up the other side as well. When I removed the bulkhead from the T5 project, I removed this, but I didn't do a video on it. I've had loads of you over the last sort of few years since I did the T5 project asking could I do a video showing how to remove these, so we're going to do it. I'm not an expert, I've not watched any other videos on how to do it, so if I do it wrong and you know a better way, please post up in the comments below, and that would really help people. But I'm going to show how I'm going to remove it by force. It's held on in different places. The top bit I think is held on by bolts. This bit's welded on, the floor one's welded on, so we're going to need an angle grinder. I've got one of those. Obviously, if you're using any power tools or anything like that, please, you're responsible for your own safety. But a quick run through some of the bits and bobs that I've got here that we're going to be using. I've got my toolkit, that's just there, loads of odd bits and pieces. We've got a trim tool set. If you want to buy one of these, link will be in the description. It's only about 10-15 quid, really handy for taking off the plastic. Look at this baby, this is my Halford socket set. I got the black edition, it's absolutely beautiful. Look at those things. Again, link in the description if you want to buy one of those. Very handy, lifetime guarantee on everything, so if anything breaks, they replace it free of charge. And then here I've got a spline set, which we need to remove a couple of the little bits that are on there, and also a torque set just in case I need that. Today it's literally just me and the phone, so this isn't going to be a polished video. I'm just going to quickly remove all this stuff. We'll see how we get on. Hopefully we won't damage anything. I'll talk you through how I've done it. Hopefully it will help some of you, give you a bit of confidence on doing your own one. Let's get cracking. First up, we're going to want to remove this using a 10mm spline. So I've got a 10mm spline there. That's just going to come off there. Then that will mean we can pull off this trim here and then hopefully get access to the bolts that hold this top bit on. So I've removed that using 10mm. The rest of this plastic trim literally just pulls off. So if you just get your hand in there at the side, give it a yank. I've already done it on mine, but you'll see, look, that comes off lovely. There's a 10mm bolt there, one a bit lower just there, and then there's another one which is hiding just there. And so I've got my 10mm socket. I'm going to just take these off now. That's the first one. That was number two. And this third one I can't actually get in to do without removing this lower trim. And so I'm just going to give it a bit of brute force, just going to give it a pull. They normally just pull off. There we go. Look, and there's these poppers that push through here that hold them on. So you're just literally going to give this a bit of a pull all the way around. That's come off. And now I'll get in and take off that lower one. Because it's a bit tight, I'm going to use a spanner. So now those three bolts are out. Look, that is literally all that holds that top one on. So the same will be true of this one at the other side as well. So that's really straightforward. So one of the things I've done is I've moved the driver's seat right forward. That's enabled me to get right in here. I've pulled this trim off away from the door frame, and that's enabled me to get right in. You can see that plastic trim. I've literally pushed that right forward. And as you can see there, look, that's given me all the access I need to the back there. There's a little plug here on the back of my one I'm going to remove. There's a little tab here that you just push. That pulls that out. Look, and there we go. That whole trim comes out. That whole trim is completely loose, just picks up. Stick that out the way over there. Put all your bolts somewhere safe. I've just put mine on the side here. You're going to need this one. Again, obviously, put the seatbelt on. These ones can go in the bin unless you're going to try and repurpose them. So now that's all exposed, you can see that that retainer goes all the way along there. I've got the ply floor in already, and it goes all the way along under there. And you can see, because of the shape of the ply floor, it's actually covering what I need to angle grind out. So that means I'm going to remove this ply floor quickly. It means I'm going to have to just pull all my tools out and stuff. Then that way we can get right in there on this. We can just start angle grinding, take it all out. It shouldn't take long at all. Right, so because I'm parked so close to the house, I'm just going to leave the floor balanced like this, but ideally if you could remove it, that'd be great. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to use these bits of cardboard that I've got, I'm just going to put them on the metal floor at that end so I don't hurt my knees when I'm kneeling down doing the angle grinding. That's the retainer there. You can see the little welds there, a bit further down. And obviously this is going to get in the way if I'm angle grinding. So we're going to need to remove this bolt here. That'll mean I can just get the seat belt out of the way. Because that's been removed, it means I can now feed all this through here. So you can see I'm feeding all of this through. Right, okay, so now this is completely free. I can now take this seat belt up and out of the way. What I might do is just stick it in this door card. I've just had a little go at it with a chisel and a big rubber mallet, and I've tried to get in around the back of it. So I literally knocked the chisel in there and just worked it out, and then started banging the chisel in this way. As you can see, it's made a bit of a mess of it. I could do that all the way along, but then I'd have these little bullet holes literally all the way across this whole thing. I don't want holes in the van. So I've done it with the first one, but I'm going to get the angle grinder. What we need to do if we're angle grinding is obviously I'm going to need to cover the seats. Got a big tarpaulin that I'm going to get. I'll put that down behind here. We'll get that all dressed up. I'll route all the power in to get all that sorted, and then we'll get cutting. I'm going to put it all covered up with some tarpaulin. That's just to stop any of the sparks. I don't want them going in the back of the seat or anything like that. We're literally just going to cut in here with the disc. So I've got my angle grinder all set up. You can see I've got my obligatory safety goggles on. Don't do anything like this if you haven't got a clue what you're doing. I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'd hate for you to lose a finger or even your life. So disclaimer, you are responsible for your own stupidity, as I am for mine. See here, just rocking this back and forward, and that's actually really weakening the weld. I've just slipped in the chisel from the side, and you can see I'm pulling this out a bit, working it, and then that exposes the weld just there, and then I'm getting the angle grinder in there and just trying to loosen that off. Another little cut through there, and that should take that off. You can see I've done the one above. It's a lot neater than that bullet hole above there. Just going to give it a whack with a hammer. And that last little burr, I've worked that through. That's all come off now. And so the next one, there you can see there's a little one just here. And then there's also quite a big weld there that we're going to need to go through. This next one, chisel's gone in just below the weld. I've hammered it right through underneath. And then I'm just pulling this off. There we go. So once you've got to this point where all you've got left is this weld, you just literally grab the whole thing, rock it back and forward. That metal's so weak at this point that that will just eventually, that's just sheared off of there. Okay, so that has come off, and all these little bits are fine. They're all obviously going to be covered up anyway. I'll put a little bit of rust-proof paint over the top of that just to stop any rust, but it'll be fine. It's no different than this bare metal here really, other than obviously I've cut into it a little bit with the cutting disc, but that side is off. So I won't show you doing the other side of that because it's exactly the same. So now we'll just focus on the floor. So this first bit of the floor just here, there's a weld there. You can literally just get your chisel, pop it under there and pull that up. That will literally just come up. So that's the first bit, and then we're going to try and pop the chisel in under here. This is actually a proper weld. That's just sort of stuck down almost like a silicone sealant. But when you get here, if we can pull this up, we're just going to be able to expose enough here to be able to get the angle grinder in. I did a nice long cut along there with the angle grinder. Then I put the chisel in down this side, pushed it up, that's prized it up. Then the same the other side. Now that's just left us this little bit here, which I'm just going to cut through this bit with a disc, and that will loosen that whole thing. And we basically do that all the way along all of the welds. Now I can prise that up and out. That's fine. It hasn't even melted the carpet. Now if you were really bothered about melting the carpet there, which I'm not, that little bit there, you're not going to see it by the time it's all done. But what you can do is remove the seats at the front and then take the rest out. Obviously that's a bit of a job. It's quite a few bolts to do that. So I'm just doing this. I've done this before and I remember I didn't melt anything that time. I'm now just going to do that same process all the way along. It doesn't take long. You just use this to work it out afterwards. So I've got another 1, 2, 3, 4 to do, and then we're back into doing that. Okay guys, so you can see that's completely off. The bit of metal's just there. Look, I haven't damaged this at all. That's going to be fine. I'm just going to clean all of this up, and then I'm going to cover this with metal paint, which will just stop it rusting. So I'm now just going to do this edge, which is the same as the other one, so I won't record that. So that's the bulkhead retainer all taken out. You can see I've put this side all back together again. I'm now just going to start doing this side. As always with these sort of things, refitting it always just a reversal of removal. Still got to just paint these little bits and pieces. One of the things you need to do, white sand having a trim tool, you can see in some of these places, just here, there's one there are these little clips, so I'm just going to take that out. So we got that. There's a few of these along here, and then what you do is you just sort of put them out. There's another one there, and then they get mounted in here. You can see there's one that's come from there, so you just stick it in there. That helps. And when you're going to push this back on, you just line these up, give it a whack. So there we go, guys, pretty much finished. That's the removal of the bulkhead retainer. Pretty straightforward, easy for you to follow. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.